Hello, everybody, and welcome to Movie Couple Live. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And hey, happy Wednesday! Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to our show. This is where we talk about the latest in movie news, pop culture news, all things geeky. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy to be here. So we got a lot to talk about today. We have the Golden Globe nominations.
We have Thor: Love and Thunder's set photos review.
Yes, and we get to see a couple of sneak peeks at some of the new costumes that are there. Ryan Coogler signs a 5-year deal with Disney and so much more. So stay tuned. Oh, and of course, I already said that. I thought I was going to say it at the end, but I already said that. It was the Golden Globes. So you guys, welcome. Thank you for joining us here on the show today. We hope you're having a good week so far. Let's see. So as always, top of the show, we always like to have a couple of announcements that we talk about, just basically letting you know what is going on our channel, the latest videos that are up or what's to come. And thank you to our movie bunch, Jack, who let us know that we recently just hit 36,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Woo! Inching closer and closer and closer.
Thank you so much.
To the did I set a goal? I think it was like 50K. Not last year. I think that's maybe this year's goal. So
yeah, I think last year's goal was to hit 35, and we barely made it.
Barely made it.
So we got it at the end of the year.
So I feel like 50K is a bit like ambitious, but you know what? Why not? You know. So in other news, we also have a couple of videos that are just newly uploaded to the channel. One of them includes the Pacific Rim: The Black. And that is an animated series. It's a date announcement video, so it's not quite a full trailer, but that is up for you guys to watch if you would like. And then another video that will be coming to the channel once we're done with the live stream so we can film it will be the trailer for Coming to America. Always have to remember that. So go ahead and make sure you are keeping an eye on our channel to check those out. You can hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, hit the notification bell so you get notified of new videos. And of course, if you're watching us right now, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Really helps us out here along YouTube, all the algorithm and all that good stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and get to our first super chat for today. Woo! Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And of course, this is from the one and only Chris's Choice. Thank you so much, Chris, for your super chat. And Chris writes, okay, suppose we get Iron Man back in the MCU. For whatever reason, Robert Downey Jr. does not decide to come back. Who would be your perfect choice to replace him?
Okay, well, first of all, we are assuming that it's going to be Tony Stark's Iron Man. Technically, there could be a whole bunch of other characters that could take his place. I believe there's also a girl who actually got made her own Iron Man suit, Ironheart. I don't know. I just only know of her. I don't know much more about her. I think that's probably more likely of what's going to happen is that they will bring in a new person to kind of take on the Iron Man mantle. But if it was actually going to be say bringing to let's say Scarlet Witch used some of her voodoo magic kind of thing to bring Tony Stark back to life from another alternate universe to where he looks different.
But he's still a Tony Stark.
But we still need a Tony Stark. That's tough because
that's like who would play Wolverine other than Hugh Jackman?
Yes, that is along the exact same lines of who do you get, because Robert Downey Jr. did such an amazing job, and he's now pretty much known as Iron Man. He's known as Tony Stark. And even his wife is like, yeah, you couldn't have picked someone who is more like Tony Stark, kind of a thing.
I could just see Robert Downey Jr. going around his house, and if he happens to have like a smart home device, like an Alexa, or I can't say her name because it'll go off, but he can be like, Alexa, da 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 da. I could just all day long going around the house, and she's like, shut up. My gosh, great question, Chris. You've stumped us.
It's a hard one. I mean, because he's been so iconic for so long, and when he first took that role, everyone, well, at least I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. He's a brilliant actor. He actually has he's had some addiction, personal problems as well, which goes very well with Tony, and he has that kind of know-it-all attitude, which fits perfectly. So it's kind of hard to think of someone else that could play that role. And plus, it'd have to be someone who's not already in the MCU, because that really limits. You can't have them playing two roles. That would be kind of weird.
Yeah, that'd be weird for sure. So I'm stuck.
We're so stumped.
I feel like maybe Pedro Pascal could handle it.
Okay.
Maybe he could handle it.
Because if he plays more of like the way he played his character in
what about
Game
Nathan
of Thrones.
Fillion?
I think Nathan Fillion's a little too cutesy kind of a thing. You need someone who's cocky and who can really kind of pull off that lovable asshole.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Like the jerk with a heart of gold kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Do we have any suggestions in the chat room? Because I'm stumped. I mean,
not yet.
It's hard to like, I'm like, how about, no, can't do that one. Well, how about, no, can't do that one. So there's a lot of different options.
Ooh, okay. Tom Felton, a little young. Tom Felton, Matt Smith.
Okay.
Matt Smith could possibly handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Smith. Man, let us think about this, Chris. It's completely stumped us. That has yet to happen until now. Thanks, Chris. That's awesome.
Usually we can think of at least
think about it.
Something.
Yeah, I want to think about it.
If he wasn't already playing Doctor Strange,
you can't use. You already said it.
I know I can't use it,
so you can't.
but I'm desperately trying to grab for something. But I think Benedict Cumberbatch could have pulled off a good Tony Stark. But yeah. Other than that, I can't think of anything that comes to mind to where I'm like, it's because everyone would just pale in comparison to
Amr's
Robert.
got a great one, Colin Farrell.
Oh,
I do love Colin Farrell.
That would be a good one. Good job.
Yeah,
good
because you
choice.
have to think Tony is not only like a genius, right? He's also a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that charming playboy personality, and then he's got to be able to, be a little snarky, a little quippy. Yeah, Pedro Pascal from RMD Collective. I think I said the same earlier. So you want someone who's able to be like charming, but an asshole at the same time, essentially. A little bit.
Leonardo DiCaprio. That honestly, he could. I mean,
I love Leo. He could pull off anything, but I don't see him as Iron Man. Like I can't see when I look at him. I don't see Tony Stark.
Well, the way he pulled off the character in Wolf of Wall Street, I think, is kind of a good comparison to what he would do. He would probably have to do a little bit of the what is it called? The superhero workout kind of thing.
Make it Robert Pattinson.
Oh my goodness, that actually would be a really good one.
Because he's only playing a superhero in a different
that still works.
Universe, so we're safe to use him.
Mm-hmm. I think Robert Pattinson would actually be a really good choice.
Yeah, I'm also seeing in the chat saying Tom Cruise, Stephen Amell, Michael Shannon. Ooh, Michael Shannon creeps me out.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but I've been
not saying that he's a bad actor. Just like some of his roles when he gets so into it, I'm like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like Shape of Water.
If you want to play around a little bit with ethnicity, I think Michael B. Jordan could kind of pull off that kind of cocky attitude.
If he wasn't already Killmonger.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And have
that's right.
Gone into the
he's already
ancestral
dead.
plane.
Mm-hmm.
Great question, Chris. We love that. Thank you so much for your super chat. That's amazing.
Yeah, you completely stumped
literally
us on
stumped. We're just like a brain for. Oh, Jared Leto.
Oh,
Jai Courtney. Okay.
Those are some good ones. Yeah.
Okay. Not bad. All right, you guys. Thank you so much, Chris. We look forward to getting stumped again by one of your Chris's choice. That's amazing. So before we go into our main topics today, we also have a little bit of a news flash. And today it's somehow, by coincidence, they're both food related. So the first one we're talking about is who likes Fruity Pebbles? I love Fruity Pebbles. It's funny because I didn't, like when I was younger, I didn't really eat Fruity Pebbles as a cereal.
Oh, really?
But as an adult, I am finding myself that I am using Fruity Pebble as a garnish on a lot of things that I normally wouldn't have when we used to go out. It's been over a year.
Somi.
For Somi, which is like the ice cream taiyaki. So it's like a little fish, like waffle crust thingy,
so
soft and chewy and delicious with a slight crunch, and then they put a soft serve on it. And the Somi place that we go to, you can choose your toppings. So you can do like Oreos or like almond, like crushed up almonds, and we're always like, we're gonna get the Fruity Pebbles with like a little pink, little strawberry on it. So the prospect of us now that this is available, Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles ice cream is so exciting to me, and I want both.
Yes, me too. I mean, they both look absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
And it's weird how sometimes, you know, they can bring out an ice cream. Like, what is it? They had the Sour Patch Kids
Nope.
ice cream. I'm like,
Nope. Like, how would that taste good?
No.
Also, if you put gummy in an ice cream, like, it's going to be kind of hard.
I don't think they put actually like gummy chunks in there.
You don't think they put chunks of Sour Patch?
I don't think Sour Patch Kids. But yet this, on the other hand, sounds delicious. And I want, when next time we go to our shopping run, I want to see if we can pick some of this stuff up because it looks so good. It
looks so good. We're gonna definitely look for it at our local grocery store. So we want to know, let us know in the chat or in the comment section, if you would, 1, eat a Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa Pebbles ice cream, and 2, which one would you pick? Would it be, are you team Fruity Pebbles or are you team Cocoa Pebbles? Go ahead and put that in the chat or in the comment section below. I think for the both of us, we're probably team Fruity Pebbles.
Even though I have to admit,
Cocoa Pebbles is good.
Cocoa Pebbles would probably go pretty well in an ice cream as well.
It's kind of common sense. Like, if you go to a soft serve bar, that they would have this. Really? Yeah.
I mean, how long? I mean, I remember Fruity Pebbles. I don't remember a time when there wasn't Fruity Pebbles commercials. So I mean, they've been around for a long time. So I'm surprised that they didn't do this sooner.
Yeah, really. But we're excited. We're gonna get to try a little bit of Fruity Pebbles and things like that. And whenever we're able to go to the store the next time, we're gonna look for it, and hopefully we'll, like, I don't know, do like a taste test, maybe live. I don't know. Who knows? Oh
yeah, definitely. We'll definitely be at least filming a video on it, so you guys
at the very least,
so we can give you our professional opinions on it.
Professional ice cream taster.
Justin,
wouldn't that be a great job?
Being a professional ice cream taster.
Like, would you hate ice cream by the end of your day? Because you're just a taster, right? So you're not sitting here eating a whole pint.
Yeah, so
you're just like a couple of spoons.
And then you kind of write your review on it.
And you'd, like, you know, check that, like, the texture, is it too sweet? What's like the aftertaste? What, like, maybe the packaging you're looking at, like, is it appealing for you to want to take that off the shelf? But I don't think I would get tired of, like, you know, maybe if I just taste it, it depends, I guess. Anyways, we have a super chat from Justin. Justin, thank you so much for your support. Justin writes, is there any particular country you've never visited that you want to more than any other? For me, it's South Korea, followed by Brazil.
For me, well, my list is a little bit longer than Wendy's because Wendy has actually been to a lot of the places that I want to go to.
Yeah.
I want to go to Canada. You've already gotten to go. I want to go.
I was only there for 5 days, though.
New Zealand. I want to go. South Korea sounds great. I would love to go to South Korea.
All the food we can try. Like, we watch Strictly Dumpling on YouTube. Mike Chen is the founder of the channel, and he recently, like, went to South Korea just to kind of, I guess, like, maybe try to live in a country that where COVID is a little bit more under control.
Yeah.
And he left, and just I was torturing myself. 12 o'clock at night, laying in bed and watching a Mike Chen video.
He shows such good food, and he always knows, like, the best places to go. And even though let's say I just had a huge dinner, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so uncomfortably full. And when he shows his videos, I'm like, how am I hungry? How am I hungry again? This looks so good that whatever he's eating.
Yeah.
So yeah, anywhere where, like, we can get some really cool, interesting food.
Yeah.
South Korea, Canada, New Zealand.
Great question,
I've been
Justin.
wanting to go to Australia. However, every single time I see pictures and videos of those giant spiders, it always kind of makes me go, yeah, let's go to Australia. Wait, no.
We have a couple of movie bunch that are in Australia, but they never talk about giant spiders.
Well, I'm pretty sure if you were born and raised in Australia, you're kind of like, they're just spiders.
But they're this big, and they're the babies. That's not okay.
And I'm just like, I mean, gosh, when they're up in the corner and you see them, the adults that big, and they're surrounded by 100 little spiders that are like,
burn down the apartment, move out of the country.
You know, I guess when you're born and raised into it, you're kind of like, oh yeah, whatever. kind of a thing. But I'm just like, nah, you know.
I beg to differ because I was born and raised in Taiwan, and we have those flying cockroaches that were.
And you're a lot more used to it than I am. You can handle cockroaches better than I can.
Because they don't fly here in the U.S. No, correction. They don't fly here in LA, the ones that I've encountered. In Florida some of them fly, and they're called like the palmetto bugs, and they suck. Anyways, where I would like to visit, Justin hit it on the head. I gotta agree with him there for his first choice. South Korea. For the food, for the K-pop, for the culture, for the food. And then I love to go to Greece. I think Greece, it's just, from all the photos I've seen, it's absolutely gorgeous. So that's somewhere I really want to go. And then either Scotland, Ireland.
Yeah.
One of those two. I kind of want to do like a backpacking trip.
That is something that I've been wanting to do for many years. To start off in Scotland, work your way, like just do a backpacking trip down through England.
Yeah.
Then take from England across to Germany or France, and then to Germany, and then to Amsterdam, and then be like, okay, time to go home.
It's great.
But yeah, I mean, I really want to go and check out all the Disneylands.
Yes, yeah, that's one of our like bucket list thing to be able to visit all the Disneyland. So far, we visited at least 3. So we've got Paris, Shanghai, and Hong Kong left.
Yep.
To visit. So maybe once the pandemic is over, and we'll take a look at our finances and see if we can travel to at least one of them.
Once we get that shot in our arm, we're going to be like, all right, let's get out of here.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. That's a great, and I see you guys, all of you guys discussing where you'd like to visit. So I want to go ahead and read out some aloud. And I also want to go ahead and kind of like go back to our Fruity Pebble and Cocoa Pebble ice cream talk and see what you guys said. Let's see. Oh, Armor and Jack says, I have no idea what that is. Is that an American thing?
Yes. Well, I guess.
But wouldn't they sell that in some of the stores over there?
Maybe.
Their
honestly,
cereal.
I have
essentially.
It might very much be a very American thing because it was off of the Flintstones.
Jim says, I love them dry out of the box. Me too.
Oh my gosh, I know. I can just eat
too.
Fruity Pebbles. I'm just kind of like, I would just have like a handful and just kind of and eat them like that.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, I think it could very much be just an American thing. Is there anyone else, like say in Europe, who's watching us live that's seen Fruity Pebbles? I don't even know if they have them in different countries.
Yeah. I mean, maybe in like not a specialty store, but you know how if we go to like a world market, we can find various, like we can get Tim Tams from Australia, we can get various like snacks from like Asia, or you know, different like Europe candy and stuff like that. So it could be that. And also I saw Jim's name pop up, so I wanted to address this one Streamlabs that we missed from last week. And Jim asked, by the way, thank you for your donation to our Streamlabs. Jim writes, is WandaVision just one season? And our answer is, we believe so. We believe that there is only one season because it's meant to kind of fill in the gaps and kind of round out the story before we move on to the next story. Essentially, it would be Doctor Strange 2, kind of would move into that. So that story wouldn't be filled with like exposition, because that's kind of boring.
Yeah. You kind of want to get all of that kind of stuff out of the way, tell an interesting story through a series. And I kind of like that they're doing that.
Yeah.
Is the fact that you're like, okay, this series is serving a very specific purpose, which is to kind of give us that exposition, give us a little bit of backstory, kind of fill us in on the gaps, and still tell a compelling story through WandaVision.
It's like having a in-between MCU movie without having Navi is here. Navi, are you team Fruity Pebbles?
I want Fruity Pebbles! Yay! Okay, I'm sorry.
She's like, I hate you so much, Dad.
She's like, no. She's like, she knows what she's in for when she comes over here to get loves. She's like, Daddy, pay attention to me.
Oh, MK writes, late answer for the Iron Man question. Who would essentially could be the next person to play if Iron Man could still exist in the MCU. And if Robert Downey Jr. didn't want to come back, who would play? And I'm going to mess up this name because I always do. But the actor who plays Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones is who MK is kind of like nominating. So yeah, didn't think about that. Yeah, that would work too. Honestly,
I mean, I haven't seen anything that he's done recently since Game of Thrones. But yeah, what I saw in Game of Thrones would probably work very well.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. And then going back to our travel question, and earlier a super chat from Justin. Justin has prompted everybody to kind of put down in the chat or in the comments like your dream, your bucket list of places to travel that you haven't traveled to. So we're going to read some of you guys' comments out loud. We have Marvin Martin who writes Ireland and Scotland. Yes. Justin says, never been to Canada myself. I had a good time. I went to Toronto for TIFF. I was only there for 5 days, but it was beautiful and the food was delicious. I had a lot of poutine, probably way too much. Because we can't really get like the good quality ones here. It's a little different here. So I wanted to eat as much. So almost every meal that we had, if it was a group dinner,
had some kind of poutine.
Somebody bought poutine. We all shared it because it's too much for one person. Let's see. David writes, I'm not going to pronounce half of these names correctly, so I'm going to put them up. Is it Seychelles?
You're asking me to pronounce something correctly?
Is it Maldives? Am I saying that wrong? Sure, maybe. New Zealand and Iceland. Oh, Iceland. Ooh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Level 2 writes Mexico. Mexico's fun. We've been to various parts of Mexico. Yeah. Philippines and Indonesia as well.
One of my most loved and hated trips was down to Mexico once.
Why'd you hate it?
Well, because we were going down to this little tiny cove off of the peninsula of Yugura Negro. I think that's how you pronounce it. I've messed it up hundreds of millions of times. But we took a bus down like this dirt road. So the travel there was terrible. It was like this, it was not a very fun trip to get down there. But one, the food was amazing because we had like some fish tacos that they actually walked down to the beach, caught fish, and then brought them up for our tacos.
Hello, David.
Hey, Dave. How's it going? Thank you so much for your super chat.
$10. Wow.
And,
thank you.
But we went there to go see the whales. And we went out on these little lifeboats, literally, like maybe 10 people could fit on these little boats.
Like a little dinghy?
Like a little dinghy. And the whales would actually come up to the boat and almost lift the boat out of the water. You could bend over the edge and pet the whales. So it was...
Was that safe? Well, I mean, you were alive, so I guess it's...
I mean, no one got hurt. I mean, there was even this one woman that actually kind of fell out onto the whale.
Why was she too far?
She was reaching too far.
Tourist.
And then she kind of hopped back in real quick, kind of a thing. But so that was an experience of a lifetime. Amazing food. And there was I mean, the bad part was the trip back and forth on this dirt road on the bus, incredibly bumpy road. And I did end up falling asleep. And then I woke up and there was this line of men outside the window with machine guns.
Oh.
And I was like, what's going on? Of course, our guide, he like knows all of them. So he's like, yeah. And he was able to get us through safely.
Pay a little fee.
Pay a little fee to get through. So it was, one of the scariest, but also one of the most memorable trips I've ever had.
So the food was good. The other stuff, not so great.
Food and the whales.
Food and the whales was great. Other stuff could have skipped over.
Yes.
Oh, man. That's crazy. Wow. That's a trip to remember for sure.
Mm-hmm.
David, thank you so much for your 2 super chats.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. We have another one from Justin, and then we'll go back to our other news flash. Justin writes, I've never been to a major film festival. I'm jealous Wendy has been to TIFF. What other festivals has Wendy been to or would like to go to? So TIFF was actually my first one. So it was September of 2019.
It was 2019.
And I had gotten the approval to go. And I had gotten the approval last year in 2018, but I wasn't able to go due to some of the other stuff that I had lined up and I didn't know I was going to get approved. So they reached back out and they're like, hey, we can approve you if you like, or whatever, like, here's the process for you to like be approved. If you want to do this, we can help you out. And like, would you be able to come and come to TIFF? I was like, yeah, I really want to go to TIFF. And I had just booked a major commercial. And I thought, what a fun birthday present to myself it would be if I took some of the money that I made from doing that commercial and put some of it toward TIFF. So I went with my fellow members from the Hollywood Critics Association. It was me and Scott Menzel and Ashley Menzel and Dimitri Panos. And all of us went. And it was great because they have all been TIFF to TIFF in other festivals before.
They've all been TIFFed.
They've all been to TIFF before. So it was nice to kind of have people as your guide to show you this is where you go, this is how the procedures work, the ticketing stuff, and like here's also like the great food spots that you definitely want to go to and this and that. So it was really a great first look at TIFF and how they organized everything. Everybody was so nice. There was a lot of volunteers. They all are very helpful if you're just kind of patient and explain your situation to them. And if you want to get into certain films, but you can't because whatever reason it may be. And I got to see almost all the films that I wanted to see. The only one that I didn't get to see was Joker because it was premiering as my plane was taking off. Because they don't, when you book the flight and everything, the show times and what movies are showing have not been released yet. So I'm like, yeah, I'm sure if I fly back on a Sunday night, it'll be fine.
Yeah, they're not going to show anything.
They're not going to show Joker like at the last day of the weekend of the first weekend of TIFF. Sure enough, that's exactly what they were doing.
What they did.
I actually think it was a Monday evening.
Monday evening that they showed it?
Because I saw the last movie I watched was A Marriage Story, and then from there, like with my luggage and everything, and then
straight to the.
And then I went straight to get a shuttle to get back to the airport so I can fly home. And I was kind of sulking on the flight, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna get to see Joker. Could have flew back on a Tuesday." I was really upset about that. Other festivals that I would like to go to, I mean, Sundance for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go to Sundance. And I know they're doing like things digitally and stuff like that, but I miss the ability already this year not being able to go to TIFF.
I know, I was so bummed. We could
have gone together.
If it wasn't for COVID, this September when TIFF normally happens, I was actually free. A project that I normally do in September is always preventing me from going to do anything. We wanted to go to Dragon Con, but that's during September.
Yep.
Wanted to go to TIFF, but that's during September. Yep. So I was like, finally, I'm not doing the gig this year, but then COVID hit, and I was like, well,
we're not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah, and I miss kind of, you're making new contacts, making new friends when you're in line waiting for a movie to start at the festival, and it's that excitement, and you're sitting amongst other people who love film just as much as you do. So there was a lot. It was a lot of fun. I hope to, maybe if not this year, then 2022 will be the year. Hopefully, you and I get to go and
we're just going to start doing all of these film festivals.
It's exhausting.
Exhausting, but I think it would be great. And it just exposes you to such good people.
Yes.
And good art.
Yes.
And it's great to just to be like the first to experience these kind of movies.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. So thank you so much, Justin, for your super chat and your question. Thank you. Justin says blame everything on COVID.
Yep.
I mean, I blame a lot of it on COVID. Just my inability to.
Even if COVID didn't have anything to do with it, I'm still going to blame it.
Marvin writes, thank you, by the way, for your super chat. Marvin writes, if you could make your own festival or award ceremony, what would it be? And also, what do whales feel like?
Oh, well.
Two separate questions.
The first question, the whales, they actually kind of feel, it's very rubbery. If you've ever been to SeaWorld and actually pet like dolphins,
but if they haven't,
it still has kind of that, like a wetsuit. No, not even a wetsuit.
It's kind of slippery, very smooth, slimy, but it's not slimy at the same time. Even if they're out of the water and you touch your skin, it's a very smooth, almost like marble, but soft.
And the only thing that's not soft on or smooth on their skin is the fact that they usually have like barnacles, and they'll usually have other things that are actually like attached to their skin, and that's what adds kind of the bumpiness. But normally, they're pretty. It's just kind of like a blubbery kind of skin that you're petting.
Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little different.
Yeah, it is but it's still honestly the whole time you're just there and you're like, oh my god, I'm touching something that is literally 100 times bigger than I am, to where their eyeballs are like the size of your head.
Imagine that looking at you.
The eyeball is like that big. And my dad got this amazing picture of like his hand and then the eyeball right next to it.
Oh, I think I saw that. It's incredible.
It was just an amazing experience.
Yeah, it's really incredible. And then to Marvin's second question, if you could make your own festival or award ceremony, what would it be? I would for sure do an awards, and I think they already kind of have something like this, but I would do one for stunt performances,
yes.
Best like stunt sequence, best choreography, best motion cap performance, whether it's in video games or in movies and television.
You can call it the Action Academy Awards.
The triple A.
And yeah, you can just talk about special effects. You can talk about stunt performers. You can talk about digital. You can talk about digital performances.
Yeah.
Like you could finally have Andy Serkis win an Academy Award, win an Action Academy Award.
An AAA.
An AAA.
What would the trophy look like?
I think the trophy would be just like the Academy Awards, but a big explosion happening behind them.
I would want it to look like an Oscar, but they're like holding like a broadsword.
Oh,
or some sort of like action-y pose, but make it like really glamorous and not like cheesy looking, you know, like something cool like that.
I also kind of like what the Razzies do, to where it's kind of like
raspberry.
Yeah, they get like a giant raspberry, but it's more along the lines of, hey, we're gonna poke some fun at some movies that were awful.
Oh, the
and I love the fact that one of my favorite things is still the fact that Sandra Bullock.
She showed up.
She showed up, and then the very next day she went and won her Academy Award. So it's
the best.
So it's just
best.
A little bit of a
no, like,
you want to make fun of my movie.
But I love that she's a good sport, and she was like, "Heck, why not? Let's go."
And she brought, it's the best because she brought that little wheelbarrow full of copies of the movie.
You get
a copy. To everyone.
What movie was it?
Thinking something about Steve. It's
Steve something, right?
Yeah, it was one of those movies that you really want to forget about.
I don't even think we watched it. And then kind of going back to our by the way, you guys, thank you so much for all of your support, your super chats, or your Streamlabs. It really helps us out a lot here with the channel in helping us invest in new equipment or upgrading our equipment.
Yeah.
For the most part.
As you notice, we have a much better picture, much better sound.
Nicer sound. So
all because of you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us.
And we were talking about food earlier. We were talking about the Fruity Pebble ice cream and the Cocoa Pebbles ice cream. We have another food item to talk about before we get into our main topics, and that is move over Blue Apron. We have a mother box for 2 or 4 is here. So I brought up a little picture, and this is actually to kind of help promote the upcoming Snyder Cut, the Justice League. And essentially it's kind of like a Blue Apron, but it's like a curated meal that you would prepare at home. And I don't know how to take this off. Here we go. So let me see if I can find it. So you saw that the price tag was not cheap. It's $130 for a box of 2, and I think it's like $260 for the 4. It's double the price for 4 people. And here's what you get with and you have also a vegetarian option or a standard option, which is, I think, pretty cool. So let me see. I got to go back to the mother box for 2. $130. Here's some of the contents that they have revealed, and then they're revealing some more on their social media as it gets closer to launch date. So they have Ocean Trent, quote, "He comes on the king tide," and this is a Icelandic cod and chips with trench dressing. You can prepare this at home. You get a Big Belly burger, and if you are familiar with the DC comic, you know that Big Belly burger. They talk about it a lot in the comics. They talk about certainly a lot of it in the Flash TV show.
Yes, they do.
And every time they talk, I'm like, dang, I want a Big Belly burger, and that doesn't exist in our world. So you get that served with condiments. You get something called Resurrection, inspired by the cornfields of Smallfield. They have not revealed exactly what it is yet, so you would have to follow them on social media to find that out. They have the Ancient Themyscirian Fire, and also we don't know what that is. It sounds like a beverage, like, if they sent you the recipes, you can make that at home.
Yeah.
Maybe
well,
like
either that
Fireball.
Or it's some kind of spicy kind of food.
Oh, I didn't think about
that. That's what I was thinking.
Okay,
is that it's like a spicy meal.
They also have snacks and extras. Of course, all these you have to follow them for reveals. So they will be revealing soon. Some of the other stuff, they have beer, 2 beers straight out of the DC universe, exclusively brewed for Wonderland at home. And then Jitters Coffee. Also, they talk about it in the Flash TV show a lot.
That's the whole thing. That's the place that they always hang out.
And I want a Jitters Coffee. don't get to have that. So we just thought it was interesting. We love food and things like that. So we always think it's really fun and interesting to talk about, especially when they have little themed things like that. That's kind of, themed around the release of a movie, which is a lot of fun.
Now, honestly, $130.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know exactly if you get like all of these or you get to choose.
I think you get all of them.
Okay, if you get all of them, maybe.
And if it's like specially curated, high quality ingredients, and it's also very exclusive. It's exclusively branded Big Belly Burger. I'm actually not sure if you get all of them or not. Let me actually take a look.
Honestly, because for $130 for two of us, we could actually get a meal already made.
Oh no, you get it all.
Oh, you get it
you
all.
You get it all.
Okay, that's a lot of food.
For two people.
For two people, but it's also stuff that you have to prepare at home.
Yes. Well, you can stretch it out. You can Monday you can do the cod. Tuesday is Big Belly Burger, and and after that whatever.
And then whatever the other things are.
Exactly.
Unless we don't really know 100%.
Unless they do the thing where you go to a fancy restaurant, like one of those. They bring out like 5-6 courses, but each course is this little.
Oh.
Unless they do it that way.
That is very possible.
It's possible, but I hope not. For 130, I'd be kind of mad.
Well, it says 130 plus shipping and plus tax, if I'm not mistaken. Excluded. Yep.
So you have to pay for taxes and shipping.
You still have to pay for tax and shipping.
Well,
I personally think that's a little high for what you're getting.
You're paying for the theming.
Yeah,
too.
You're paying for the
branding. Yeah.
But for $130, we could go down to like the Outback Steakhouse that's right down by us, and we could get a pretty impressive spread.
You get half of the menu.
Yeah, you can get.
No, that's not true. That's way too much. But
you could get a really good steak. You can get a side of ribs. You can get some drinks.
I like the ribs. Yeah.
And I think honestly, I would much rather do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is, it seems like they're giving you a lot of stuff. I'd need more information
to
actually find out
media.
how big the portions are.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious. I'm curious on what it looks like too. I want to see some pictures.
Yeah.
Of what the food looks like prepared.
We're going to have to follow them on social media to see exactly what they reveal if they haven't already.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and move on to our main topics, seeing that we're already at 2:42. But we're having way too much fun chatting with you guys and answering your questions. But let's talk about Ryan Coogler signing a 5-year deal at Disney. So they made a deal, a 5-year overall exclusive television deal with Ryan Coogler's Proximity Media, which is a production company that's going to develop new TV series for the studio. And the first one, get excited. This is going to be a drama based in the kingdom of Wakanda for Disney Plus. And of course, this deal, 5-year deal, will also allow Proximity Media to develop television for other divisions of the company, which is really great. But the first one already, we all know how much Black Panther means to Ryan Coogler.
Yes.
How attached he is to it. I believe he's doing the sequel. If there is a sequel, right?
They're definitely doing a sequel because
we just don't know how they're going to handle. I mean, it's not coming for a while.
Not for a while, true. But I think actually doing what they're doing with Ryan Coogler is perfect. Is the fact that since they've had this little bit of, we've had a tragedy in the world of Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
So now, in order to get to Black Panther 2, they're going to need a setup, and having it in the form of a series on Disney Plus to kind of get everyone on the same boat of what happened, where they're going, and what the what the atmosphere of Wakanda is at this time is brilliant.
Yeah. And
the fact that we're going to get more than one from Ryan Coogler, which we've already, all of us loved, for the most part, I think, loved Black Panther. I thought it was an amazing, it was beautiful, the way it was directed, the characters were great. I was really upset that they, spoiler, that what happened to their main villain.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it as a slight, yeah. So
this is a brilliant idea, and I think having something kind of like a WandaVision in between Black Panther 1 and Black Panther 2 to kind of be like, okay, let's kind of mix up the world a little bit so we can go and tell an amazing story.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to talk about how we've already kind of dealt with the death of Chadwick Boseman, of where the society is because of this tragedy and what's happening in Wakanda. Then we can go into a new Black Panther movie.
Yes. I mean, the only complaint I have about Black Panther is that I wanted to see even more of the kingdom of Wakanda. And obviously we got plenty of it because it took place there. But just I am fascinated by the tech. Mm-hmm. I wanted to see more of their democracy and how excuse me, the inner workings of that. So I think with the show, And of course, the cast will be back. It makes me really, really happy to see exactly what basically more of Wakanda.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna kind of go around the not having Chadwick Boseman being a part of the show, unfortunately. So I'm also curious to see how they're going to do that. But again, Ryan Coogler, this is definitely a project that he's very close to. So he's going. There's no one else better to handle this but Ryan Coogler, in my opinion. So I'm really, really excited. Let's go ahead and go to the chat and see what you guys are saying.
Yeah, actually, I want to throw a question to the chat room. So let's say they're doing a Wakanda series that kind of explains what happened to T'Challa and how is it going to deal with the new, what is it called? How are they going to replace the Black Panther, so to speak? How opposed are you guys to having, like, say, if they're going to show T'Challa's death?
T'Challa.
My apologies. If they're going to show that, if they use some unused footage from previous movies or from Black Panther to kind of insert just for like this one thing, and then they move on with the story to kind of show, to kind of give the Black Panther a fair, and Chadwick Boseman kind of like a farewell from Black Panther, to actually have his face in that scene just for a moment.
So they can maybe just pull some of the footage that they have.
But are you guys completely against that? You're like, no, do not do that. That's disrespectful. Because I can understand that argument. Or are you more on the lines of, it's going to be at least months to years.
At least 2 years, I think.
Before this comes out. What do you guys think about if it's just going to be for a quick little scene to where they kind of show the death of T'Challa?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. Or if you're like, no, you can talk about it. You don't need to show it.
Okay, well, we'll let them answer because I know you've asked them like twice.
My apologies.
So we'll go ahead and let them answer and see what else you guys are kind of saying in the chat. I gotta find it. I lost my place. Oh no.
What you looking for?
Where I left off in the comment section.
Oops.
And I completely lost here. I think I'm coming up to it now.
Maybe Navi can help. Navi, can you find out where Mommy went? Where did Mommy leave off?
She hates being on camera so much.
No, she doesn't. She's our little movie star.
She is the movie star, the only movie star. All right, here we go. Jack writes, I think Okoye and Nikita, was that her name in the series? Should run the series as Shuri as the second Black Panther in the movie. That's a way to do it.
I would love to see her do that. Yeah.
Yes.
To see them either have it be one or the other, or both kind of tag teaming it, and no one know. Oh, what if that's the whole thing? Is that he dies, and they're like, well, crap, we can't let people know, so they start tag teaming the role of the Black Panther.
Oh, I don't know if they would do it like that. I think one thing about Wakanda is that they are open. Yeah,
true.
And I just don't think that.
I'm just spitballing.
Blade writes, Disney Plus needs more programming. I honestly don't feel like my monthly fee has been justified for the amount of content Disney Plus has been putting out. I think we're really starting to see, though, more and more content, like with the addition, obviously, of the Marvel shows, of the Pixar popcorn,
Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars. But again, it's not like both at the same time, right?
Yeah.
It's like The Mandalorian has ended, now WandaVision starts, and when that ends, then we get Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So they're not like happening simultaneously. So I kind of understand what he's saying, because like, what if you don't need to watch all the Disney, library of like feature animated films, because you either have all of them or you're just like, I don't need to see them.
There's also, I'm sorry, Navi, I'm going to put you down. There's also a lot of stuff coming out. I mean, heck, just all of the Star Wars series that are coming out, from Ahsoka to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And there's all of those. The Marvel series that are coming out. We still have Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki. They're now planning for Wakanda. They have a ton of more stuff in the works.
It's coming.
And you're also able to get previous movies, like, how we were able to see Soul, Mulan, Onward. So I mean, it's one of those things that Disney Plus is still relatively new.
Yes.
When it comes to streaming services, it's going to take them a little while to
don't forget the right things.
Oh yeah,
Right
that's right.
Stuff.
The Right Stuff.
The Right Stuff. I want to think of the New Kids on the Block song whenever I say that. MK writes, part of Kugler's statement in regards to the 5-year deal with Disney, quote, we will be working closely with them, Feige, Desposito, Alonso, on select MCU shows for Disney+. We're already in the mix on some projects that we can't wait to share. So that's very exciting. Obviously, he is already experienced with working with Feige for Black Panther. So there is going to be a lot of, and I think Bob Iger even has a quote that I read somewhere that they're excited, and how he's saying that Coogler is such a standout as far as like the new generation of directors go. So this is all really great news. I can't wait to see what amazingness, epicness that we're going to get with this deal. And with that said, talking about epicness, let's talk a little bit about Thor, the Love and Thunder set photos, Tease's new costume. So unfortunately, we won't be able to show you these photos on the live stream because they are essentially kind of like leaked photos. But I'm sure if everybody has Google, everybody has, or whatever search engine you decide to use, everybody has social media. So if you just type in the word search engine, words in the search engine, you will find it. But yeah, a couple of set photos have been circulating on the social medias, as we were saying, and these photos reveal some new costumes. So we do have in one photo, we do see Chris Hemsworth, aka Thor, kind of sporting this red vest type of it's jacket vest. It's open, so it's not like a closed vest, but it looks very similar to, in the comics, Thunder Strike. So we're not saying that he is gonna be like Thunder Strike, because in the comics, I believe that was Eric Masterson.
Yeah, it was a different.
Who who was like Thor for a little bit, and like the comics it was like the early 90s or something like that. But it's just like a nod to the comic books. We don't really know. We also know Jane Foster is very much involved in this, and she is going to be Lady Thor for this one. So so we'll see how all of this goes. In other photos, we see a new look for Sean Gunn's character. I think it's Kraglin is how you pronounce the name. A new look for Nebula, and of course Star-Lord. Who? Star-Lord,
and
man.
Honestly, I like the direction that they're going. They're kind of going for that 80s rock kind of vibe. And I like the fact that they're constantly taking inspiration from all of these different source materials. And I'm just excited. Yeah. I'm excited to see what James Gunn does. I'm excited to see Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy together. And I'm just excited to see this because all of them, I just think it's a brilliant idea.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see Sean Gunn's character now that he's, gotten that little whistle arrow.
Yeah.
Remember was it the post credit for Ragnarok that he was trying to use it? And
I think so, yeah.
And he didn't quite have it.
Didn't quite work for him very well.
but I feel like in this one, he's going to have it, not quite maybe masters it, but he's going to get the hang of it. Or maybe that he does master and he's going to come in and save the day with the whistle arrow or whatever.
Probably in the end, it's going to be like a little joke that he's able to pull off. But I can see while he's practicing, he accidentally shoots Thor in the butt.
Didn't they already do that? That's how they did the end credits thing, right?
Did he?
I don't remember.
Maybe.
It's been a very long time.
But also something that you really can notice is in the picture that has Thor and what is it called?
Taika Waititi
with Thor and Star-Lord, is the fact that you're able to see Chris Hemsworth's guns.
Pirate baby angel.
You're a pirate baby angel. Baby pirate angel.
Baby pirate.
Or something like that.
That was one of my...
He looks like he's going to be ripped, so I don't think he's going to be Fat Thor in this one.
No, that's, he's like found his purpose. His friends are back. They defeated Thanos. He's obviously back in it. David says, Pratt is a big guy. He is pretty tall, but he looks small next to Hemsworth. Everybody looks small, I feel like, next to Hemsworth, except for Batista.
Yeah.
Who is huge. But this is exciting. Some of the it just makes us more excited for the movie that is to come.
And, sometimes I always wonder, technically these are leaked photos. These are not official. They are not,
They're not released by the studio.
They're not released by Disney.
Yeah.
But a part of me is also kind of like, I'm wondering if sometimes they're kind of like, it's not that big of a deal that these get leaks because it gets people talking. It gets people going, oh my gosh,
I
look
think
at this.
we can play
This looks
both sides of that argument.
I can agree with you on that.
Yeah, I think we can play both sides of it.
So, but I'm just excited to see like a little taste, a little hint of what's going on in Thor, because that is, I mean, he's one of the OGs. You know, we don't have Iron Man anymore.
Yeah.
We don't have Captain America anymore. So the only ones that are left are Thor and Hulk.
That's and Hawkeye.
And Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get a Hawkeye
TV show.
We're getting a Hawkeye TV show.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We'll see. Oh, hey, Michael Tingley just wrote, what do you think about Oscar Isaac cast as Moon Knight and Ethan Hawke cast as a villain? We talked about it previously in another live stream, I think 2 or 3 live streams ago. I mean, I love the idea. I am such a big fan of Oscar Isaac and his work that for actually both of these actors that you named, that I can't wait to also be able to see Oscar Isaac in a slightly different type of a role, because we've seen him as Poe, but like if you haven't watched him in like maybe Ex Machina, like, you know, that's a great movie to explore. And the mention of Oscar Isaac is I want to put the name Oscar Isaac in the hat of if they were to, back to Chris's choice, theoretically, yeah, if Iron Man did come back to the MCU one way or another, and Robert Downey Jr. is like, oh no, I'm busy doing something right now, I don't want to do it, or whatever, Oscar Isaac would be a fantastic Tony Stark. That's just all like fun just fun theory games and things like that. All right, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our final topic here, and that is the Golden Globes nomination as well as snubs. So we have the nominations came out today, and of course the this year's award show, it's being hosted by Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, which I'm very excited for because I love them together. But they are filming on different coasts. So Tina Fey will be broadcasting in New York. Amy Poehler will be doing it from California, from Beverly Hills. So that's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work out, because like each spot would have their independent, you know, like internet, and hopefully like it's all stable. Hopefully it's unless they decide to pre-record it and then just like live broadcast that. That
I think probably one of the good ways to do it is kind of like what they did for DC Fandom and for the Comic-Con stuff.
Yes.
So
just a lot of prep work is all, but it would give everybody a flawless watching experience for the awards. Also, we don't know exactly if, as far as the nominees go and the presenters go, if some of them are going to do it in person. Is it all like telecom, you know, virtual pre-recorded stuff? Like we don't really know how that's going to work. So I'm actually really interested to see how they do it. Like I typically don't really watch the Golden Globes. I just read the live tweets as they come out to see who won, and then I watch like the recap of all the speeches and things like that. But this one, I might actually, you know, give it a watch, as in I won't be busy doing other stuff probably.
That also, it's a very curious way on how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like you said, I'm very curious on how they're going to handle the streaming, how they're going to handle the live commentary, because one is in New York and one is in LA. That's a 3-4 hour
3-hour difference,
3-hour time difference. So one's going to be a little bit earlier and one's going to be late at night.
So they just have to coordinate, you know. So if it goes like 6 p.m. here, then it'll be 9 p.m. on the East Coast. So it's just a little bit of coordinating, which is why I think if they pre-recorded everything and then just live broadcast it, it would just production value wise, it would be better for like the viewers and stuff like that. But who knows? Depends on what they want, because I know people for award shows, they probably miss that, you know, live in person, you know, like seeing who wins, and you're like, oh my gosh, I wonder if they're gonna do the hazmat suit of the Oscar.
I really like that they did that.
Here's your Golden Globe.
And also the fact that, I mean, there's something to be said about having it be like a big ceremony. You go there, you get to have, I think they have dinner, right? They get to have food.
So
they get to have food. They get to chat with other
red
people.
Carpet.
The red carpet, and it's a big ordeal. I'm wondering if a lot of the stars are like, I really missed that, or if some of them are going to be like, heck, this is great. I can stay home in my PJs, and I get to eat food that I.
They should send them food anyway.
Yeah.
They should send them a meal. for just being a nominee. So let's go ahead and run down the list of our animations here. We'll start with Best TV Series, musical or comedy. We have Emily in Paris, The Flight Attendant, The Great, Schitt's Creek, and Ted Lasso. I already feel like Schitt's Creek,
yeah,
in my opinion,
has got so
probably already won. But Ted Lasso, I mean, I like all of them. I am happily surprised that Emily in Paris was nominated for this because I thought the show was really cute, but I like compared to some of these other ones, I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, you go, Emily in Paris. That's great. Best performances by an actor in the television series drama: Jason Bateman for Ozark. We have Josh O'Connor in The Crown, Bob Odenkirk in Better Call Saul, Al Pacino in Hunters, and Matthew Rhys in Perry Mason. Let's see. I wish I could, maybe I can link this so you guys can follow along, just in case you guys don't have that. I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat.
Get
so
the
you
link
guys
there.
Go ahead and grab that link so you can read along with us. So best performance by an actress in a limited series or motion picture made for television: Cate Blanchett, Mrs. America; Daisy Edgar-Jones for Normal People; Shira Haas for Unorthodox; Nicole Kidman for The Undoing. Love that show so much. And Anya Taylor-Joy for The Queen's Gambit. Fantastic show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who could potentially win.
Anya Taylor-Joy has gotten a lot of buzz for The Queen's
she's
Gambit.
fantastic, but also Nicole Kidman in The Undoing is lovely. The show is just, that's a binge-worthy show, I will say. And then there's Cate Blanchett. Like, how do you not, you know what I'm saying? Okay, best director for motion picture. We have Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. If you haven't checked out that film yet, please do. It's fantastic. David Fincher, Make. Regina King, One Night in Miami, also a fantastic film. Aaron Sorkin, The Trial of Chicago 7, and Chloe Zhao, Nomadland. This is, I love seeing three lady directors in this category. I'm really, really, really excited. Out of the entire, gosh, that's so hard for me to pick. Obviously, I'm championing for all three ladies, but there can only be one, right?
No, very true.
I don't want to choose. I can't. I can't choose. It's already hard enough because I love all 5 of these movies a lot. I am a little sad that other movies, or should I say other directors, didn't make it onto this list. But I know if you can only have 5, I guess you can only have 5. But I would have loved to see Spike Lee, on here for Divide Bloods. That was one of my favorite films of 2020. So that's a bit of a bummer for me to not see that on here. Do you have any of the directors that's like a standout to you for this one?
The big standouts are definitely Promising Young Woman and Trial of the Chicago 7.
But these are directors, not movies.
Yes, the directors. Yeah. Yes. I also know that we heard a little bit when we went to go see the Trial of the Chicago 7. They had a little bit of a live chat with Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
And the way he talked, the fact that this has been in the works for so long shows just how much of a passion project it was.
Yeah.
So it has that going with it. It tells something historical, but the story behind the way that Promising Young Woman was directed was brilliantly done.
Yes.
So I am very curious to see who's going to come out ahead on this one.
Yeah, and also if you enjoyed Promising Young Woman, or on the flip side, if you enjoyed Killing Eve, the TV show starring Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer, you should. Is it Comer or Comer? I don't ever remember how to pronounce her last name correctly. But if you're a fan of Killing Eve, you need to watch Promising Young Woman. It's the same director, so you need to go ahead and give that a watch. And Adam, I agree with you. I'm shocked that The Five Blood was not nominated for.
Oh, yeah.
And ironically, Spike Lee's children are the ambassadors for this year's.
Like, sorry, Dad, you've already won enough. But no, he actually deserves a little bit more.
I feel like,
he's been snubbed a couple of times.
Yeah, I feel like this year is a bit of a snub for The Five Blood and for Spike Lee himself. All right, moving on. Best actors in motion picture. We have Maria Bakalova in Borat subsequent movie film. Kate Hudson, music. Michelle Pfeiffer, French Exit. Rosamund Pike, I Care a Lot. And Anya Taylor-Joy, Emma. Wow. Again, a really hard one, I think, to kind of pick from. And also, why is Carey Mulligan not a part of this? Oh wait, musical comedy. Okay, we can't put
Yeah.
Promising Young Woman as a. Never mind. Okay,
That will be in the next.
I retract my statement. Sorry about that. Best actor in a motion picture drama. We have Riz Ahmed in Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins, The Father, Gary Oldman Mank, and Tahar Rahim in the Mauritanian, I think is how you pronounce it. I would love to see either Riz Ahmed or Chadwick Boseman take this one.
I'm pretty sure they're going to give it to Chadwick Boseman because
fantastic.
Not only that did he do an amazing job in this movie. It's also the fact that this is the last time that he can be nominated.
Yep.
So it's one of those kind of like a farewell to an amazing actor that really went before his time. So I think that's just a great sign of, we want to acknowledge this amazing actor that has passed away.
Mm-hmm. And I also want to point out Movie Bunch Adams' comment here in the chat saying, I think that talking about The Five Blood, that film deserves a lot of nomination, especially for Delroy as Best Actor. And as you can see, he's not been on this list. And I 100% think that he should have been on this list. The performances by the cast in The Five Blood was phenomenal. And
I don't think anything for The Five Bloods was nominated, was it?
No, not so.
Nothing.
No.
And I'm like, really?
It's the Pooey. All right, moving on to Best Television Series Drama: The Crown, Lovecraft Country, The Mandalorian, Ozark, and Ratchet. I love that some of our favorite shows are on this list. The Crown, Lovecraft Country, The Mandalorian. I don't know who will. I feel like it's gonna go to Ozark, or I want to say Lovecraft Country. I feel like the people are gonna say The Crown seems like the choice.
I think The Crown is probably The Crown is the safe bet because it kind of fits into that little nook into it's a period piece, it's amazingly good, and it just kind of fits into that what most big academies or big award societies would give an award to. However, I would love to see Lovecraft win. I would love to see Mandalorian win. I think Mandalorian is down at the bottom of that list.
Even though it's our favorite show.
Even though it's one of my favorite shows.
I feel like they're gonna. I mean, I'm pulling for any to win because all these shows are great. But I feel like it's, for me, just kind of trying to predict and not putting my own personal thing in there. I feel like it's going to be either Ozark or Lovecraft Country. You guys, of course, go ahead and make your prediction along with us in the chats or in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and move on to Best Performances. Best Performance by an Actress in a Television Series Drama. Olivia Colman, The Crown. I love her so much. Jodie Comer, Killing Eve. I love her. Emma Corrin in The Crown. Laura Linney, Ozark. And Sarah Paulson, Ratchet. Again, really fantastic list of actresses in this category. I wouldn't even know who to pick because my heart is screaming Jodie Comer and Olivia Colman, but then I can't take anything away from any of the other actors who are nominated, and because they're really fantastic as well. You guys know I'm such a big fan of Sarah Paulson, so there we have that. Best Performances by an Actor in a Limited Series or a Motion Picture Made for Television. Bryan Cranston, Your Honor. Jeff Daniels, The Comey Rule. Hugh Grant, The Undoing. Yes. Ethan Hawke, The Good Lord Bird, and Mark Ruffalo, I Know This Much Is True. Wow.
That is a really good list.
I really enjoy Hugh Grant in The Undoing.
Oh,
but I just like that show in general, though. It's on HBO.
And it's hard sometimes to really separate the actor from the show. Even though you love the show and this one person did a good job, is it better than a show that you're not as enthusiastic about, even though it's still good?
Yeah.
And this other actor who did an amazing job. So what is that? That's kind of like a favoritism bias to where you love.
Of course, we all have our own biases for sure. Yeah.
No, that's very true.
Yeah. Gosh, it's The Undoing was so up my alley. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next category, which is Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. I always liked how they put musical and comedy in the same category, which kind of is a little weird to me.
Yeah, I find that very weird.
So we have Sacha Baron Cohen in Borat, subsequent movie film. James Corden in The Prom. I didn't read this far, so that was kind of a surprise to me.
I saw that early and I was like, didn't he just kind of. I mean, don't get me wrong. He sings
What about
and performs very
Andrew Elder Price?
Yeah.
What about him? Okay, we're gonna continue finishing listing off names. Lin-Manuel Miranda for Hamilton, Dev Patel for The Personal History of David Copperfield, and Andy Samberg in Palm Springs. I have a feeling it'll probably go to Sacha Baron Cohen. But let's talk about James Corden for a second.
I didn't think he had. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, he was fine in the prom. I enjoyed the movie. It was a lot of fun to watch. I felt like the cast was, did obviously their absolute best, and it was fun to see them in like glitz and glamour and glitter and sing and dance. I
didn't think it was a standout performance.
No, me neither. I feel like somebody else could have been nominated. I mean, not to like take anything away from him. I'm not saying he wasn't good. He was good. I don't know about that one. I'm
a little curious. I'm really curious on who's going to win that one.
Well, I can tell you who I don't want to win. Moving on to the next category, Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama. Viola Davis in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Audra Day in The United States versus Billie Holiday. Vanessa Kirby in Pieces of a Woman. Fantastic film. Frances McDormand in Nomadland. Yes. And Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman.
Yes.
So many fantastic actresses in this category. I want them all to win. They all win in my
You all get an award.
You get an award. You get it. I mean,
you get a Golden Globe.
They're all really fantastic though. Like, how do you pick? I'm glad I'm not on the board to vote.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'd vote for. I'd be like, one for every single, rip my like piece of paper up and be like, they all get like 1/5 of my vote.
I'd probably lean a little bit more towards Carey Mulligan.
Oh, she's fantastic.
She's amazing in that.
In Promising Young Woman. Mm-hmm. She's really, really great. Okay, next category, Best Motion Picture Drama. The Father, Mank. I feel like I'm always saying that name with like a slight accent. Mank. Sorry about that. Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, and The Trial of the Chicago 7 again. No The Five Blood, no Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah.
No, like, okay, sure. That's no Minari. Oh, because we had talked about this because they dubbed it a foreign language film.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That makes me so upset.
Well,
that better be at least nominated in the foreign movie category then, I guess. I would. Oh man, I don't know. I really like Nomadland and Promising Young Woman, and
I probably lean a little bit more towards Promising Young Woman because the message behind that is such an important message to kind of get out there.
Yeah.
With Promising Young Woman and just how much this is still a huge problem in our society. So I probably want to lean a little bit more towards Promising Young Woman.
Yeah, agree with that. But again, would it be happy for any of these categories to win? Would have wished we saw, also Divine Blood and Judas and the Black Messiah in that category. And I think that's a shame that they didn't make it into this category. Best Actor in a Supporting Role in Any Motion Picture, Sacha Baron Cohen. The Trial of the Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya, yes.
Oh, cool.
Judas and the Black Messiah, Jared Leto, The Little Things, Bill Murray, On the Rocks, and Leslie Odom Jr. in One Night in Miami. That's a hard one. I wouldn't know who to pick. I feel like Best Actor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
Jared Leto in The Little Things was good, but I feel like that's compared to like say Sacha Baron Cohen or Daniel Kaluuya. Kaluuya. My apologies.
I would those are my two, and then I can't leave out Leslie Odom Jr. It hurts to leave him out. So that's my 3 pick there for my top who I would like to see win in that category. Best Original Score, Motion Picture, The Midnight Sky, Tenet, News of the World, Mank, and Soul. Woo!
Ooh.
Tough choices. Those are all good though. Those are all good. But look, it's great for Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross because they're on here twice, essentially, for Mank and for Soul. So congrats to them because if one of those things win, they win. Yeah, which is really, really fantastic. Moving on to Best Performance by an Actress in a Television Series, Musical, or Comedy. We have Lily Collins for Emily in Paris. We have Kaley Cuoco, I think is how you pronounce the last name correctly. The Flight Attendant. Ella Fanning in The Great. Jane Levi or Levy in Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. And Catherine O'Hara in Schitt's Creek. I feel like Catherine O'Hara is kind of a shoo-in.
Yeah.
It definitely has everything to do with how much I like the show.
No bias whatsoever.
My bias is showing. Best television limited series or motion picture made for television: Normal People, The Queen's Gambit, Small Axe, which is fantastic if you haven't watched it yet, The Undoing, and Unorthodox. Again, all really good television shows nominated in this category. So I don't really care who wins. I'm just happy they're all nominated.
Fortunately, it's one of those categories you're like, I like all of them. I would be happy for anyone who wins in that category.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fantastic. And moving on to best performances by an actor in a supporting role in a series, limited series, or motion picture made for television.
I love these categories. It's like a paragraph on just what the category is.
We have John Boyega for Small Axe, Brendan Gleeson for The Comey Rule, Dan Levy or Levi for, I think it's Levi, for Schitt's Creek, Jim Parsons for Hollywood, and Donald Sutherland for The Undoing. I'm not going to talk about how much I love Schitt's Creek again, but also John Boyega in Small Axe is fantastic. Should we move on to Best Motion Picture? Here we go. Best Motion Picture.
This is
musical or comedy. Borat subsequent movie film. Hamilton. I'm happy to see Hamilton on here because a lot of people were saying that it's not quote unquote a movie because they just captured the stage performances. But I feel like it's still a movie.
They filmed a movie that was performed on stage. I mean, really, what's the difference between it being on stage and it being on set? You know, if you're in a studio, it's kind of the same thing. So I love the fact that Hamilton is down here.
Yes. And then other nominees include Palm Springs, music, and of course, The Prom. Best actress in, I wonder who, I feel like Prom's got a pretty good shot. Palm Springs has a pretty good shot. Of course, the Borat movie and Hamilton. And I actually have not watched the music yet. So I don't know anything. I can't even say, because I've only watched 4 out of the 5, which is pretty good. But maybe I'll see if I can try to watch it before the Golden Globes, so I would understand what they're up against. All right, best actress in a supporting role in any motion picture: Glenn Close in Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman in The Father, Jodie Foster in the Mauritanian. I'm saying that wrong, right? I'm saying that incorrectly. Yetta Seyfried in Mank, and Helena Zengel. Sorry. Oh, the newcomer, The Muse of the World. Oh, she's great. So she's the youngest one in this category.
Yep.
Wow. Well, you go, girl. You go, Glen Coco. All right, here we go. Best motion picture, foreign language, another round. La Llorona, The Life Ahead, Minari, and Two of Us. A lot of good films on here, but I'm definitely pulling for Minari.
Yeah, you have talked about that movie so much. It's
like the ultimate American dream story, and I am still so mad that it's not an American film. It was made here in the United States with an American production company with a director who is born here in America. The amount of language in anyways, I'm going to move on because I'm just going to get mad all over again. It's a little frustrating. All right, best screenplay. We have Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, Jack Fincher for Mank. We have Florian Zeller, Christopher Hampton for The Father, and Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. I am pulling for, best screenplay. I freaking love me some Sorkin screenplay, you know? It's especially that first 5 minutes, first 5 to 10 minutes of those super sorts really on brand with Sorkin. But also I can't take away from Chloe Zhao because I really enjoy her so much. And of course, Promising Young Woman.
Yeah, and Promising Young Woman. Yeah. So there's 3 of them that are just fighting for that first spot.
We're going to move on to best performance by an actor in a television series, musical or comedy. We have Don Cheadle for Black Monday, Nicholas Hoult in The Great. Yeah, he's actually really good in that. Eugene Levy for Schitt's Creek, Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso, and Rami Youssef for Rami. We're gonna move on because I'm just gonna sit here and sing praises for Schitt's Creek, and that's unfair because that's one-sided. Do you have anybody that stands out to you in this category?
Wait, which one? The one
for this one. This one that we just talked about.
Probably Don Cheadle.
Oh, he's great.
He did great in that.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, final, I think we're coming to the end of it. Yep, final 3 categories. So we have Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role in a Series, Limited Series, or Motion Picture Made for Television. We have Gillian Anderson for The Crown, Helena Bonham Carter also for The Crown, Julia Garner for Ozark, Annie Murphy for Schitt's Creek, and Cynthia Nixon for Ratchet. I loved Gillian Anderson in The Crown. I think she's fantastic, and like, it absolutely has nothing to do with me being an X-File fan at all. But no, seriously though, she's really great in that. And again, all these actresses like Cynthia Nixon, Annie Murphy, Julia Garner, and Helena Bonham Carter, all fantastic. So happy for whoever wins. Best Original Song. Fight for You from Judas and the Black Messiah. Hear My Voice from the Trial of the Chicago 7. Lo Si, and then parentheses, Scene, The Life Ahead. Speak Now, One Night in Miami, and Tigers and Tweed from the United States of Billie Holiday. That's such a hard choice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked Fight for You, and I liked Hear My Voice.
That's the one that I was really leaning towards.
When I really heard them, and then I would put Tigers and Tweed also in there as well. And then finally, we have Best Motion Picture Animated. We have the nominees are The Croods, A New Age, Onward, Over the Moon, Soul, and Wolf Walker. We have seen all of them, and we enjoyed them all. So it's really hard to pick because, like, each one of them, as far as personal like relations with them, all meant something to us, right? Like for Over the Moon, especially, there's a lot of like, you know, the culture that I grew up with, and making the mooncakes and finally seeing like the moon goddess's story being told, even though it's in a slightly modern way and it's a slightly different way, but it was still introduced to an American audience. And that's really great because there's so many stories and different variations of the tale of the moon goddess. So I love that this was able to be presented to everybody, to an American audience via the film Over the Moon. But also, like, how do you take away from Soul, which we loved, Onward, we enjoyed a lot. We had a lot of fun watching The Croods: A New Age.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was surprised by The Croods because it was cute. It kind of just hit the perfect spot at the perfect time, kind of thing, to where it was just lovable and, you know, fun and exciting. And it was just one of those movies that just made you kind of happy and cheery walking out of it, kind of a thing. But Soul, I think Soul was amazing. The way it was written, I loved. I really loved the story behind it, and the fact that it didn't make me ugly cry, but still made me feel.
Yeah, we almost ugly cried, you know. So it's really, I feel like Soul is probably like the front runner for this category.
Probably.
But
usually Pixar
Wolf Walkers,
movies,
if you haven't seen it, like, go ahead and give that a watch as well. Like, it's really, really good. The Cartoon Saloon. I like that name. All right, is that the end? That's it,
I think that's all of them.
Well, you guys,
ooh, that's a long list.
Yeah, we went through the nominations. We talked about our snubs. I wish there was a little bit more of diversity in some of the categories there. So we will see how this turns out and how the award ceremony is going to look with the hosts being on opposite coasts. So that'll be interesting to see. So we'll be tuning in on February 28th just to watch the Golden Globes. And you guys, that's it. That's the end of our live stream. Sorry we've kept you on for an extra 18 minutes. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us. We hope you enjoyed the discussion. If you did, go ahead and give this video a big fat thumbs up. Really helps us out here a lot on YouTube. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified of all new videos that are going up. And of course, all of your supports via Super Chat and via, and I hope I didn't miss any because I was on that page, via Super Chat and Streamlabs are super, super helpful to help us keep doing what we are doing here on YouTube. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and say goodbye. We'll be back on Saturday for, we should talk about what we're doing for Saturday. So we're changing up the live stream a little bit. Same time, but we know that Saturday basically is the day after we've seen WandaVision. And we've been having so much fun discussing WandaVision spoiler with you guys. It's
one of my favorite things to do.
It really is. I feel like we're sitting down with you guys, our friends, to just chit chat and talk speculations, no matter how crazy it might sound. Just talk about, what moments we liked, what moment we didn't see coming, and what will we get to see in the next episode. So we will be doing our live stream at the same time. It will be 2 p.m. 2:05, should I say, p.m. PT, and we're going to do the first 45 to an hour for normal kind of movie news and pop culture news, kind of like we've been doing regularly. But the second half of our live stream, so to be almost double the length, is going to be strictly dedicated to WandaVision spoiler discussion.
Yes.
So make sure you join us in for that. We're even going to build in like a little intermission so we can go and like get some water and get up and stretch, so you guys can go grab a snack, come back, and then we can talk WandaVision. So with that said, we hope to see you all on Saturday, 2 p.m. PT, right here on the Movie Couple channel, and we will see you all soon. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.